Hey everyone, it's Y here again, and in this video I'm going to do an overview of the entire 2018 year of everything Halo. But before I do that, I want to give a quick shout out to the entire team at 343 Industries, because without you guys, none of this would be possible. With that being said, let's move on to the 2018 overview. The first topic I want to cover is the Master Chief Collection. Now, before the 2018 year, this game was in pretty bad shape, with a matchmaking that wasn't very stable and just loads of bugs. In an effort to fix the game, in early 2018, 343 Industries launched what is known as the MCC Insider Program. Players who opted into the program got to play work-in-progress builds of future updates of MCC before they were released. After playing the early builds, players were asked to leave feedback and report any problems regarding the builds. As 343 worked on these builds, they would release a steady stream of development updates, giving the testers insight on what they've been working on. They've also created a public Trello board that shows known features, future features, patch notes, blogs, and insider updates. These are all ways 343 has kept an open discussion with the community in regards to fixing MCC. A few months after the launch of the MCC Insider Program, the Halo Master Chief Collection finally got the big update that everybody was waiting for. This update brought along Xbox One X enhancements, which meant that on Xbox One X, the games could be played in 4K, ultra high def, with HDR that came with settings sliders. Along with these visual enhancements, a few other improvements were made, such as faster loading times, and improved matchmaking, and the ability to play LAN matches offline. Another useful feature that 343 implemented is what is known as Intelligent Delivery. With Intelligent Delivery, players get to choose which games and in what order they're downloaded, along with the choice of downloading the campaign or multiplayer from each game separately. Multiple language settings were also added to the game in this update, giving players more control over how they experience the game. This update would usher MCC into the Xbox Game Pass, which would help revitalize the player count that was dwindling at the time. In a sense, this update was a rebirth of the game. But even then, this wasn't the only update MCC would get this year, with additional updates fixing more bugs and adding even more features. One of the more prominent newly added features to MCC is the Match Composer, which let you fine-tune your matchmaking search parameters. Then there was also the Blind Skull, which was added to Combat Evolved's campaign for the very first time. When activated, it disables the HUD and the gun that you're carrying. On top of all these new features, they've also added new nameplates throughout the year. These nameplates can be unlocked by doing various challenges. And that about covers some of the more notable changes to MCC in 2018. 343 has really been able to turn around MCC. Over the span of this year, it went from a game that hardly worked to a game that works as expected and has additional features as well. Though MCC got the most attention by far out of the Halo games this year, the others had a few noteworthy moments. Halo 5 got some new weapon skins for the pistol, but keep in mind they are a bit of a grind to unlock. And even earlier in the year, 343 had planned on releasing National Flag weapon skins. These skins would have been for both the assault rifle and the pistol. But unfortunately they have been delayed indefinitely, and we haven't heard anything since. And the reason being that didn't get released was in light of the seriousness of the current climate. The national flags that were planned to be in this release were the UK, Australia, Canada, Mexico, and the United States. Players who competed in the Microsoft Store Halo 5 Tournament Series received the word-of-mouth battle rifle skin, unique only to this event. Outside of these weapon skins, there wasn't too much to note regarding Halo 5. 343 has said themselves that they feel that they've tapped Halo 5's potential and want to focus their efforts on Halo Infinite. And although there weren't too many noteworthy moments for Halo Wars 2 this year, it did receive a steady flow of balancing patches throughout the year. Outside these balancing patches, they also had a big event called the Yappening, which was this whole thing run by the grunt called Yap Yap the Destroyer, who even created a Twitter account which continues to be used today. The Yappening kicked off the new update patch for the game, along with a few temporary, unconventional playlists. And here's a quick screenshot of what those playlists look like. And that'll do it for the old games. Now let's talk about the new one that came out this year. I'm talking about Halo Fireteam Raven. Now this is a first for the Halo series, because this game is built in an arcade cabinet. The cabinet came out in both a 4-player version and a 2-player version. As for the gameplay and story, Halo Fireteam Raven takes place during the same time frame as Halo Combat Evolved, where you play as a group of ODST on the surface of Alpha Halo, and occasionally encountering Master Chief himself. Now, I couldn't do a year overview without talking about Halo Infinite. If you have no idea what this is, then you've probably been living under a rock. But Halo Infinite is going to be the next installment in the Halo series, meaning it's technically Halo 6, but just with a different title. Unfortunately, we don't know too much about it, other than the Zeta Halos involved somehow, and that's going to use a new game engine that 343 are working on, called the Slipspace engine. Outside of these details, we don't know too much else about the game, including the release date. And the last game I want to touch base on is actually not even a Halo game at all, but a Bomberman game. The reason I bring this game up is because our main man, Master Chief, makes an appearance in this game.
I'm coming back.
And as you just saw right there, he is indeed voiced by Steve Downes, which is always a nice inclusion. Bomberman wasn't the only game in 2018 that Halo made an appearance outside of its own game. Forza Horizon 4 had a Halo showcase in it, where you play as Master Chief driving a Warthog racing against a Pelican. It's a really impressive showcase that has everything from the Halo ring, to Cortana's voice acting, to Marines. Numerous props from the Halo franchise can be seen during the race, such as the health pack, barricades, weapon pods, and even Banshees. And that about covers all the gaming appearances Halo made in 2018. Let's shift our focus for a moment over to the competitive side of things. The first big tournament of 2018 for Halo was the World Championship. Just for clarification, this was played on Halo 5. Here you can see the roadmap for the World Championship. One significant detail for this series is that MLG was the primary partner for it, and with Halo's history with MLG, that's a pretty big deal. Also, another thing to note is just how big the prize pool is, with the finals having a prize pool of $1 million. By the end of this tournament, Splice would be the one to come out on top. And just in case you didn't follow the finals, here's how the top 8 finishers placed. The other big tournament that happened this year was the Halo Championship Series. You'll notice that MLG again partnered up with Halo for this series, and you'll also notice that the prize pool wasn't quite as big as the Halo World Championship Series. But nevertheless, Tox Gaming would come out as the top dog in this series. And again, here's the top 8 finishers. Besides those two big tournaments, Halo 5 wouldn't be the only Halo game to see some tournament action in 2018. Halo Wars 2 saw a community tournament program, where members of different communities organized their own tournaments. And there was also the Halo 3 2v2 Showdown, which was a tournament hosted by UGC with a $1,000 prize pool. GMS would be the ones that would go on and win this tournament. Speaking of esports, 343 has also launched the new HCS Grassroots program. The goal of the Grassroots program is to help build the foundation of Halo esports by supporting both content creators and tournament organizers. To help build anticipation for the program, 343 has released a battle rifle skin for Halo 5 and a nameplate for MCC. And if we move away from games and onto other media, Taco Bell prominently used Halo to help promote a contest where they gave away Xboxes this year. Though the ad wasn't directly for Halo, I feel it's at least worth mentioning in my year overview, on account of how much Halo is actually in the ad. We also got one more ad that featured Halo, and this one's actually for Halo, and that would be the Fireteam Raven Dave & Buster's ad, which also included an appearance from the one and only
Halo voiceover guy.
And one thing that did happen this year that many people may have missed is that the Halo Reach detailed web stats got retired. Now this won't affect gameplay or anything, it's just when you go on Waypoint to check your Halo Reach stats, you'll be greeted with this, which basically tells you your detailed stats will no longer be accessible on HaloWaypoint.com. Now, I couldn't do a whole year of talking about Halo without mentioning products, merchandise, and books. Now, I'm not going to go one by one and name every Halo product that came out this year, so instead I whipped up this picture that has a bunch of products from this year. Also, with the new Xbox avatars comes new Halo avatar accessories. And that'll do it for my 2018 Halo overview of the year. Thanks for watching, and have a good new year.